Hello and welcome back to Hammerhead Sports Productions. Please keep watching my videos and please subscribe. It'd be much appreciated. In recent sports news, it was announced that AJ Green, who will be turning 32, has signed a one-year, $8.5 million contract with $6 million guaranteed. Now, the Bengals' legendary wide receiver spent his first 10 years with the Bengals, part of the 2011 storied NFL draft, and has been one of the better wide receivers of the last decade. But in recent last 2 to 3 years, he has been dealing with much injury trouble. He missed all of 2019 due to a foot injury, and then he missed 7 games in 2018 due to a similar injury. 2020, he did come back after they franchise tagged him, but came back to somewhat lackluster results. I mean, the injuries are getting to him. In the games that he did play back in 2018, he only had 46 catches, 694 yards, and 6 TDs. He was still a threat in the red zone, but he had lost somewhat of his explosiveness on the outside. And then 2020, he did play all 16 games, which was the first time in I think 3 or 4 years. But as I said before, the age has gotten to him, and he caught less than 50 balls, 47, for just 523 yards and just 2 touchdowns. And they did show that they were starting to move on. They drafted that what was that guy's name? It was they drafted T. Higgins. They drafted T. Higgins in the first round of last year's draft. So it did show that they were going to start moving into a different direction. It's kind of like that's the way they do it. You had Carson Palmer and Chad Johnson. Then you had Andy Dalton and AJ Green. Now you want to have a Joe Burrow and a T. Higgins. So it's like one era, then a second era. So now it's third era in terms of that kind of a thing. And I do hope that era works out the best. But it's still sad to see a guy go. I mean, but it's the Bengals' fault since they don't freaking seem to care about getting a real GM. But that's not what we're talking about. So he joins a very good Arizona Cardinals offense. They've got Christian Kirk. They got DeAndre Hopkins in a trade last year, and they got Kenyon, and they got Murray. So they're pretty stacked, and I am surprised that they did bring in another wide receiver. But here's where I say the ramifications come in. Because now, what does this mean for Larry Fitzgerald? Because as some people pointed out, that with him coming into Arizona, that this means Larry Fitzgerald's time with Arizona is over. Even if they did say Cliff Kingsbury already said publicly that he would love to see Larry come back. But the problem is, then you've got Christian, who's an up and coming. You got DeAndre, who's going to be your number 1 again next year. Last year, Fitz was number 2/3 at times. But now you bring in AJ Green. He's now going to be a slot guy, so that puts him at 4. And he has yet to sign a contract. And I wonder if this shows the reason why is that he maybe wants to play for a different team. Now, I think at one point he did say that he would only play for the Cardinals, but this kind of somewhat either shows the Arizona Cardinals' hands or this shows Larry's hands, and there's something we don't know about in the background. I don't think it's malicious or anything. I think maybe finally he would like to maybe play for a different team and try to maybe really fight for a championship, even though the Cardinals are up and coming. He wants a ring, and I can't blame the guy. I would love to see him get a ring, and he needs a ring because of how great he's been in his career. But who knows? We haven't heard any news in regards of that. I've checked multiple times. I'd love to see him to go to Tampa Bay, maybe Seattle, but I doubt he's going to go to Seattle. I can't really say because what's the market for Larry Fitzgerald because he had such a down season? But now back to AJ Green. And so with Green now turning into maybe a slot guy, Kyler Murray, much better offense, just better overall. I think he's going to have a bit of a bounce-back season. I think he's definitely going to have way better numbers. I think he'll catch between maybe 55 to 60 receptions, have maybe 800 to 900 yards, maybe even 1,000. If he's playing really good, he'll move up to the second wide receiver on the depth chart above Christian Kirk, but maybe not, and the injuries will continue to show that they have caught up. But again, he's not going to be the featured guy. It's going to be DeAndre, and that would certainly help free up people on his side of the field. Because who do you double team? Because his reputation still precedes him, even if he had a bad season. It's still AJ Green. The name still puts fear into the hearts of defensive backs and linebackers. So I feel like that it's going to be beneficial in both on-field and in theoretical terms. I know that sounds weird, but that's what some of my 2 cents is telling me. So I wish him the best, and it will be interesting what we'll see with coming days with Larry Fitzgerald. I hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time.